Alright, I would like to call to order the March 2nd, 2026 Mount Angel City Council meeting. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Eater. Here. Councilor Astoria. Here. Councilor Donahue is absent. Councilor Ott.
Here.
Councilor Hoover. Here. Councilor Willett.
Here.
Councilor Donahue is here. Present. And Councilor is here. Mayor Child.
Here. I'm gonna go ahead, Colby, and prior to the state of the city, I'm gonna go ahead and read my correspondence, because I think that's kind of about where that belongs. So councilors, you should have a copy of this letter. It was addressed to me a couple weeks back. And it is from Jim Coleman, the chief of police for the Hillsborough Police Department. And I had thought that we should all hear it. So on January 25th, 2026, Hillsborough Police Department suffered the sudden and unexpected loss of Officer Scott Hanley following an off-duty medical emergency. Officer Hanley's death was the first of a serving officer with our agency since 1980, and its impact was felt notably by his family and his friends in law enforcement, both within our agency and beyond. I am writing to express my heartfelt thanks for the participation of the Mount Angel Police Department Chief Mark Daniel in Officer Hanley's celebration of life service on February 6, 2026. Chief Daniel was asked to assist with the incident management team planning the service as seating coordinator, thanks to his prior experience working for the Oregon Fallen Badge Foundation. I'm gonna say this wrong. Chief's presence and support were seen and felt by all in attendance, especially by Officer Hanley's family and his colleagues, and he represented the city of Mount Angel exceptionally well. We appreciate deeply how in our hour of need, our public safety partners in Oregon rose to the occasion to support us. The care and compassion extended to our agency has helped us through this tragic period in the history of the Hillsborough Police Department. With deep gratitude, Jim Coleman, Chief of Police. I wanted to share that with you because, as we know, Chief wears a lot of hats. And I remember talking to Chief that week about how full his plate was right before he got the call to add another thing to his plate. So I'm glad that Chief Coleman recognized our Chief Daniel's good work on helping that out. All right, bear with me. This is the first State of the City address I've ever written. So each year, the mayor traditionally shares their perspective on the state of the city. For those keeping track, I did not deliver an address last year, despite Tara asking me about 3 times. As a new mayor, I believed it was important to first spend time listening, learning, and gaining a deeper understanding of our community before making broad assertions about where we stood. This year, I began by reflecting on where Mount Angel was during Mayor Pete Wall's final address. At that time, many important initiatives were on the horizon. Today, many of those initiatives are moving closer to reality. Pete, Mayor Wall, expressed strong optimism about the future of our city, even as we face what felt like an overwhelming list of infrastructure needs. While those needs remain significant, we are now approaching them from a stronger and more informed position. We have completed our water master plan, advanced several high priority projects, including water line replacements on Sheridan and South Main Streets and sewer trunk line along West Markham, and continue planning for future improvements while aggressively pursuing grant funding wherever possible. Comprehensive master planning efforts are underway for wastewater, stormwater, and parks. Our objective continues to be providing the Budget Committee and City Council with clear, forward-looking information that supports responsible and strategic decision-making. We are committed to developing budgets that not only meet current operational needs, but also prioritize long-term savings in preparation for future obligations. Railroad Avenue. one of the oldest streets in our community, is projected to be fully reconstructed to modern standards. Our police department has secured state-of-the-art, Department of Homeland Security approved road closure barriers, as well as new drone technologies to enhance emergency response and public safety capabilities. A new Parks Master Plan is about to begin and will provide a clear roadmap for strengthening our recreational services in our community. These accomplishments reflect the exceptional grant writing, strategic planning, and dedication of our city manager and staff. Our greatest asset remains our city staff. In 2024, we focused on recognizing and investing in what is truly one of the strongest teams in our history. I am pleased to report that many of those same dedicated individuals, looking around at some of them, continue to serve Mount Angel today. Over the past year, we have taken meaningful steps to improve employee retention through updated labor agreements and compensation adjustments to remain competitive with neighboring communities. Stability within our staff directly strengthens the services we provide to residents. There has also been significant investment in and around our community, with more to come. Marion County recently completed a multi-million-dollar repaving project on key commuter roads connecting Mount Angel to Salem. The Oregon Department of Transportation has begun improving highway crossings and will continue later this year with upgrades to sidewalk ramps and intersection configurations to enhance safety and accessibility along Main Street. Our local school district successfully managed its bond project investments with efficiencies that allowed more than $1 million of additional needs to be addressed during a third summer of construction. We are also addressing long-standing infrastructure challenges. Our wastewater lagoon, originally constructed in the early 1990s, put this in for Councilor Donahue. Around the time Michael Jordan earned his first NBA championship, will hopefully soon be dredged and restored to its original capacity, resolving an issue that has lingered for decades. Additionally, several new developments are in various stages of planning, including apartments, retail spaces, and single-family housing. As these projects move forward, our community will continue to grow and evolve both in size and character. Through all of this progress and change, Mount Angel remains firmly rooted in civic service and tradition. I have had the privilege of working alongside many of our local nonprofit organizations and witnessing firsthand the dedication of individuals who generously give their time and energy. The workload carried by a relatively small number of volunteers is remarkable. As we look to the future, we must continue inviting neighbors, especially the next generation, to become involved. Volunteers sustain our festivals, serve on advisory boards, support community programs, and preserve the traditions that define us. Young residents bring fresh ideas and energy, while longtime residents offer mentorship and institutional knowledge. Together, they ensure Mount Angel remains a place where everyone feels welcome and valued. This fall, it is especially important that we can recruit strong candidates to fill the very large void left by Ray Eater after his 20 years of service on council. This year, our community nearly lost one of its long-standing traditions. Instead, we witnessed an extraordinary outpouring of support, a response that was both inspiring and deeply encouraging. It served as a powerful reminder of who our community is. With the recent renovation of Ebner Park, we saw the return of another tradition we thought we lost: wonderful summer nights supporting and often heckling local adult softball players. It was another example of putting community back into the community. There's still significant work ahead. The daily effort required to operate and improve our city is substantial. Yet, from my perspective as mayor and being there to hear firsthand the challenges and successes of our surrounding community, it is evident that our hard work is paying off. When we observe the staffing, budgeting, and operational challenges faced by some neighboring communities, particularly in responding to weather events and addressing infrastructure and funding constraints, we gain a deeper appreciation for the strength and resilience of Mount Angel. Our stability is not accidental. It is the result of thoughtful leadership, dedicated staff, engaged volunteers, and a community committed to working together. I am proud of the direction we are headed and confident in the path before us. It is my sincere hope to continue serving in this role and part of this team so that I may help sustain and advance the progress we have built together. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Now that my exercise in reading aloud is over, do we have the appearance of any interested citizens?
No, I don't believe so. Everybody else, excuse me, everybody else is on the agenda.
Perfect. All right, let's move on to reviewing of the accounts payable. Counselor Donahue, any questions? Counselor Storga?
None.
Counselor Black?
No question.
Counselor Hawk?
No.
Counselor Howard?
I just have one on the page 5, the Oregon Association of Water Utilities. Just it says that the $6,000 for the conservation plan progress report. Was that a one-time report or is this a?
It's every 5 years, so that was our progress report to see if we had met our benchmarks, and which we did. So now 5 years from now, we got to do an update, which is a little bit more substantial.
So that alternates then whether you do a progress report or an update, do they go back and forth each 5 years so that each one's every 10?
I believe so.
Counselor. Okay, I also have nothing. Moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any corrections, additions, subtractions, or other issues with the minutes from last month? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the city council meeting minutes from February 2nd.
I will move to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion from Councillor Peters, seconded by Councillor Hooper. Can we have a roll call, please?
Counselor Bullock. Aye. Counselor Eater.
Aye.
Counselor Hopper.
Aye.
Counselor Astorga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Hawk.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye. Unfinished business, we have our second reading of the sidewalk cafe amendment ordinance 783. And that one is Terrace.
So we did our first reading last month. This will conclude the updating of the insurance provisions of this ordinance.
And this is in reference to City of Mount Angel Ordinance 783, an ordinance amending Mount Angel Municipal Code Section 11502G relating to the city's operating regulations for sidewalk cafes. Any other questions on this? I'll entertain a motion then.
I move to conduct the second reading of ordinance 783.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councillor Hawk, seconded by Councillor Storton.
Counselor Hawk.
Aye.
Counselor Bullock.
Aye.
Counselor Eater.
Aye.
Counselor Hopper.
Aye.
Counselor Astorga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Mayor Powell.
Aye. Point of clarification, Colby.
Yeah,
As long as I read the title, we're good, right?
you're right. No, good job.
All right. Fantastic. Moving on, this next one's actually for you, Colby. It is the agreement to cooperate regarding tourism promotion activities in the North Marion Tourism Collaborative.
That's correct. And we have some folks here to present tonight. If you'd like to come up and introduce yourselves and presentation. Oh, it's if you would like, that would make you more comfortable.
So, there's been just a Are we hoping to do a presentation or you just?
Yeah, let me bring you.
Okay. No, you're good.
It's John Downs.
We can introduce ourselves though. My name is Jamie Zamrin. I am an economic development specialist with the city of Woodburn. But a majority of my position is donated as an in-kind donation to the North Marion Tourism Collaborative, which is an independent 501c6 organization. So we are here today to kind of give you an update on the collaborative, what we've been working on, and request your support for this organization.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ann Schultz. I'm a small business owner in Hubbard. My husband and I own a cafe called Levity Bistro, and I'm also a new board member on the North Marion Tourism Collaborative.
Hey everybody, my name is Leo Fisher. I'm also a board member of NMTC. And I'm also the owner of Street Climbing at Silver Falls, the tour guiding company that takes people on tours of giant old growth trees at Silver Falls State Park. So, and yeah.
So I believe you have the presentation printed too. So if you just take a look at that. So we're gonna kind of talk about some context of who this organization is, why we're here today, and an update on where we're at. So to start out, North Marion Tourism Collaborative represents local communities, businesses, and destinations within the North Marion region. The collaborative was established in 2019 in response to a shared interest among local jurisdictions and stakeholders to strengthen tourism promotion and coordination across the region. Prior to the formation of the collaborative, tourism marketing efforts were largely conducted independently by individual cities, by chambers of commerce, by individual businesses. All of this limits regional visibility and reduces the overall effectiveness of those promotional activities. Recognizing that there was a great opportunity to leverage shared resources and present a unified regional identity, participating communities worked together to create a collaborative approach to destination marketing and management. The collaborative was formed to serve as a destination management organization, or DMO, with the primary purpose of driving economic activity through increased visitor awareness, coordinated branding, event promotion, and regional marketing initiatives. By pooling some of our revenues and other funding sources, member jurisdictions can support professional marketing services, regional campaigns, website development, and visitor information efforts that would be incredibly difficult to sustain independently. Since its formation, the collaborative has focused on promoting North Marion County as a destination for overnight stays, day trips, agritourism events, and recreational assets. These efforts support local businesses, restaurants, lodging providers, wineries, and event venues, while also generating general economic activity in participating communities. I wanted to give you some brief statistics on the tourism industry in the Willamette Valley. These statistics are provided by Travel Oregon, which is the state's official destination management organization. They're not on the slides. We're still on slide 2. In 2024, in the Willamette Valley as a whole, $2.57 billion was spent on direct travel spending, which sustains over 23,000 jobs solely in the tourism sector. This created $107 million in state and local taxes, which is made up of income tax, gas tax, rental car tax, and transient lodging taxes. For every $100 spent by visitors in the Willamette Valley, $30 goes directly back to locals and employee earnings. So as you can see, tourism has a very significant impact in the valley. If you go to the next slide, which I think, I don't know where you guys are at, but so today, kind of where we're at now, the collaborative is functioning as an independent 501c6 as of April 2024. You can see on the slide it has a bunch of colored bubbles with different things in it. Those are a bunch of the, oh, here we go, yes. Here's a bunch of the projects that we've completed, many of which we're still supporting today. So you may have seen our mobile visitor center or kiosk, which travels around the county. That is a $60,000 mobile visitor center. It goes to Oktoberfest every year. You can see it around. It's basically a gigantic iPhone. People can translate from English to Spanish. They can pull up menus of local restaurants. They can look at the map and see what else there is to do. You can put event information like a map of Oktoberfest directly on the kiosk. And it provides free Wi-Fi to anyone who's around it. We also maintain multiple social media platforms, a tourism information website encouraging people to explore North Marion. And we continue to support the tourism industry by inviting local businesses and operators in North Marion to quarterly networking events with prominent speakers who can bring resources and assistance to our business owners. Our staff also provides Placer AI analytics to any interested business. So that's me. I meet one-on-one with businesses for about 30 minutes to an hour. I provide them with visitation data. So this is data coming from the location services on your phone, which sounds a little creepy. But what it is generally it can give you where a visitor went before and after your event or going to your business. It can tell you their demographics. It can tell you how much they're likely to spend on travel. It can tell you their favorite chain restaurants. So all of this information that would be incredibly expensive for one business owner to find, they get to meet with a trained professional on the platform and receive all of this data free of charge. And I've met with Oktoberfest, I've met with other local businesses, Lou's Kitchen, and Discover Mount Angel to provide these services in the past. And also we just continue to create marketing campaigns and we advertise across the region, the state, and the country in various print and digital publications. So next slide. In recent years, we've really worked on evolving to improve governance, transparency, and long-term sustainability. So member jurisdictions have worked together to formalize roles, responsibilities, and financial commitments through intergovernmental agreements. And this structure ensures consistent oversight, accountability, and compliance with applicable funding and reporting requirements. Through this continued regional cooperation, NMTC supports economic development initiatives, enhances community visibility, and strengthens the region's ability to compete for visitors within the wider Willamette Valley tourism market. So our board of directors really shows that partnership that we've managed to achieve across North Marion. Like I mentioned, I serve as the primary staff, even though I'm employed at the city of Woodburn. On the board, we have representatives from the cities of Donald, Hubbard, Mount Angel through Colby, and Marion County. We also have a representative from our regional destination management organization, the Willamette Valley Visitors Association. We have the executive directors of the Woodburn and Silverton Chambers. And we have so many private businesses, including these two, Portland Rose Balloons out of Aurora, Powerland Heritage Parks in Brooks, Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm in Woodburn, Five Oaks Farm in St. Paul, and Bauman's Farm and Garden in Jervis. So as you can see, it's really important to us to maintain communication with business owners, with the cities from all across the county. And I will now pass it over to Anne, and you can go to the next slide.
So through funding support from Marion County, we recently worked with professional tourism and creative consultants to create a destination strategy, an operational funding strategy, and a marketing plan and branding guidelines. The destination strategy is an all-encompassing plan to strengthen attractions, help differentiate North Marion from other destinations, and increase visitation, all while growing the collaborative's organizational capacity to achieve these goals. The strategy begins with a vision narrative. The narrative is meant to be read as if you're standing in North Marion County in 2040, and it represents what local leaders and members of the tourism ecosystem would like to see accomplished by the collaborative. So it reads, in 2040, North Marion is known for its delicious food and expansive fields, reflections of this region's diverse and enduring culture. North Marion is a little world tour between Salem and Portland, where international cultures and Oregon's rich history are woven throughout our small, charming, and well-preserved downtowns. The 7 key focus areas that are listed here all have extended narratives as well, to highlight the main goals and the outcomes that the tourism ecosystem of North Marion would like the collaborative to accomplish. So on the next slide, we move from the vision of the success statement into the strategic impact areas that we've identified. These 4 areas serve as a framework for the destination strategy and guide how we will prioritize our work as an organization. Impact Area A focuses on building the collaborative's organizational capacity, growing financial resources, and staffing so we can fully implement the strategy. We'll expand on this further when we discuss the operational funding plan. Impact Area B is centered on strengthening relationships across the North Marion tourism ecosystem. Impact Area C is delivered through the marketing plan. The goal is to increase awareness, drive year-round visitation, and position North Marion as a unified destination. Impact Area D focuses on experiences, enhancing what already exists and diversifying the types of experiences available for both visitors and residents. Together, these impact areas create a long-term adaptable roadmap that will guide NMTC's decisions and investments for decades to come. On the next slide, we talk about, alongside of this destination strategy, the tourism consultant team that we hired created a 5-year operational funding strategy for NMTC. Many destination organizations rely on tourism lodging tax revenue. And as a new nonprofit, NMTC does not currently receive direct TLT support. While that may be a future opportunity, our immediate focus is building sustainable funding as we establish the organization's legitimacy and capacity. The funding plan is built on the idea of diversifying revenues so NMTC can function as a stable central hub for the region and fully implement the destination strategy. Key strategies include launching an annual partnership model for businesses and nonprofits and securing partnerships, participation and funding commitments from all 9 municipalities in Marion County through cooperative agreements. We will also introduce partnership marketing opportunities that allow members to amplify their messaging through NMTC's channels while helping to offset marketing costs. Grants will remain part of our funding mix, but we will be strategic and pursue only those that directly support the destination strategy. One early success of this approach is our industry ambassador model. Bauman's Farm and Garden piloted a 25-cent contribution within the hidden fees for their 2025 Harvest Festival tickets through their online ticketing platform. This allowed NMTC to benefit from the visitor activity that they had without impacting Bauman's revenue. And in turn, it enabled us to reinvest in marketing that amplifies their reach. Together, these strategies position NMTC for long-term financial sustainability while keeping our focus on delivering value to partners and to the region. On the next slide, our operational funding strategy identifies optimistic yet attainable financial goals. By July of 2028, our goals include having a fiscal budget of at least $250,000 going into the next fiscal year, 2029. We also will aim to have all businesses and organizations that actively participate in the collaborative contribute annually. Lastly, we have a goal for all 9 local municipalities in Marion County to financially contribute to NMTC. And then we'll pass it over to Leo.
Right. In addition to the destination strategy and operation funding plan, our NMTC marketing committee worked with a creative consulting firm to create this marketing plan, which has the objective of North Marion being known as a unified destination and having increased awareness and visitation. The plan is categorized by 4 key strategies, which are stated as outcomes. Strategy 1 is that North Marion is positioned and perceived as a welcoming, vibrant, culturally diverse, multi-experience agro-tourism destination. Additionally, we will work to have all the necessary marketing assets, channels, and tools needed to effectively promote the region as a destination, and we aim to have visitors who are inspired to visit North Marion year-round. Lastly, our goal is to have a strong partnership and a tourism network that can provide multiple outlets to tell North Marion's story. The plan identifies 3 target audiences, which will guide our marketing efforts, including urban explorers, festival cultural seekers, garden and nature enthusiasts. Next slide. Some examples of actions that NMTC will be pursuing in accordance with the plan include creating a master marketing program calendar, enhancing the existing photo library, designing an illustrated map of the region, and creating a consumer e-newsletter and running marketing campaigns through both print and digital marketing. As you can see, the marketing plan identifies a multitude of tangible tools that NMTC will look to create. While the plan focuses on producing these outputs, we are now adding the measurement layer to track their impacts. Using Placer AI, we will monitor visitation, lodging, and visitor spending, as well as event attendance. This will allow us to produce an annual marketing impact report for our partners, municipalities, and Marion County, ensuring that the tools that we create are delivering measurable value to the region. Moving moving into our branding guidelines, I'd like to highlight our positioning statement for the region. This is a internal strategic tool that defines how the North Marion brand is different from other destinations and how we want the region to be perceived by our target audiences. On the slide, you'll see a public condensed version of the positioning statement. The full version text is internal, and you're welcome to review it later. The statement reads, "There is a wonderful stretch between Portland and Salem where flowers and forests and farms come alive all year round, and 10 close-knit communities team with festivals, events, and people from every background and livelihood you can imagine. So come and visit and see why North Marion is always so colorful." As you can see here on the slide, this is an iteration of our logo with the always colorful tagline that we came up with. As you have seen throughout the presentation, we have our primary color palette that is full of vibrant and warm spirit. The colors in combination with the logo and tagline differentiate North Marion as a region and ensure a consistent eye-catching presence. And on this slide, we received 10 illustrations that represent the region. These images draw on a painted style that reflects the hand-painted farm stand signage in North Marion often seen. They celebrate natural beauty and feature actual produce and iconic local items that feel handcrafted and quite genuine. This highlights both the abundance and welcoming spirit of the region. We will be utilizing the branding guidelines to transform our presence and reinvent North Marion. Additionally, we will be creating a marketing toolkit for the businesses and municipalities in the region to start utilizing and identifying the area as one unified destination. We are so excited for the tourism ecosystem of North Marion to come together under one name, one region that is inclusive for all of our 10 communities. So I'd like to finish off by saying thank you everybody for your time today. We look forward to continuing a strong partnership in the future. Any questions? Comments? No? I'd like to add something personally. As a tour guiding company, we have DMOs that represent our whole region, like Willamette Valley's Visitor Association. Are you all familiar with these organizations? Travel Oregon? Okay, so that's like a huge region, right? And as a tour company, it's like probably one of the more recognized and probably one of the larger tour companies in the region. Like it's hard to actually get like time and like focus from these other organizations, right? To actually like promote our region. And having a more local region, like a more local DMO, does a really good job of actually bringing visitors to our tour, but also to everybody else that comes through this area and visits all your local businesses. And that's why I'm here on the board and spending my time to be here. And I think it's really impactful, and I think it's something that we as a community should support if we can.
I will echo that too. As a small business owner in a tiny little town of Hubbard, we can't rely solely on the population of our tiny town to support us. We rely really heavily on tourism. And we see that every spring when the Tulip Festival is happening, our business starts spiking, and every fall when the Harvest Festival is going on at Fountains, our business spikes. So I quickly realized the importance of an organization like this to help support small businesses. It's just vitally important.
In the agreement that we presented you all with today, the agreement to cooperate, there is no financial commitment in that agreement. That is purely an agreement that the city of Mount Angel vows to support this organization, which truly you have all been doing with the donation of Colby's time. Colby's been a vital member on our board. Colby is our treasurer, who has contributed a lot, gives us the Mount Angel knowledge that we need. So I just wanted to clarify that the agreement that we are asking you to participate in is not a financial agreement. We did mention throughout the presentation that one day we would like all of the cities and municipalities to support this effort, because we truly believe that this is providing value to your businesses and to your local economy. But that is something that we wanted to remain in the hands of the cities. So in your budgeting procedures, if that is something that you would like to support, that is up to you as councilors, as the mayor, as your body. But the agreement that we presented today was solely just to participate and to support this effort.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you guys, appreciate it. With that, would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve the city of Mount Angel to enter into the agreement to cooperate with the Knox County and Tourism Collaborative.
Second.
Gotcha. I have a motion by Counselor-elect, seconded by Counselor Ott. Can I vote?
Counselor Donahue,
Aye.
Counselor Ott,
Aye.
Counselor Bolett,
Aye.
Counselor Eater,
Aye.
Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Astoria,
Aye.
Mayor Bob.
Aye. Next, we have item 9B, a resolution authorizing submission of and supporting a petition for formation of Ruth Fire District. Chief Daniel.
Mr. Mayor and Council, before you have a request as made by our local fire district. This is the request for a resolution that they actually need before they can put a question before the registered voters on the ballot. And this would allow them to ask the question regarding the dissolution of the current fire district, and then putting Monitor and Mount Angel together, and then charging a certain amount of money on the taxes. So I'm not going to do all that quite the justice that the fire chief would do.
You did make them okay, that didn't fill in any holes that anyone has, or just a quick overview. So Mount Angel and Monitor, we've been working together for about the last 4 or 5 years under an IGA, with our tax base being about $593 million in the lowest rate in the county to Bucko 146. We can barely apply. So we entered an IGA with Monitor a few years ago. They passed a levy that brought them up to about $1.03. That expires in 2027. But we wanted to take that as an opportunity to test drive it, an engagement before we get married, if you will. And it's proved to be two good groups that want to work together, similar minds, and we feel like it's the right way to go and where we need to go. In Marion County, there's 19 different fire agencies. Monitor and Mount Angel are at the very, very bottom of the millage rates, with some other ones up closer to $3 per thousand. We stress tested this a lot in the full feasibility study and just working through budgets and seeing what we can do. And so this is something that's working on pretty hard. This part of about the last year or so. What do we need? You know, originally we entertained the idea of just merging them in with us at the Bucko 1, but it's not sustainable. If we go for a vote like that, we don't want to come back to the voters later on and ask for a bond or an operation levy. So we built it up. The real sweet spot across Oregon is about $2.43 per thousand for fire districts. We think we can get it done for $1.97, and that will allow us to build reserves to buy apparatus over the next few years. Measure 5 and 50, I think that worked really good at the beginning of when it came out, but the last 5 to 10 years, it's really wreaking havoc with us. Along with real market value and just our day-to-day operation, costs, we can see what's happening in our homes. So, in 1992, when I started here, we bought the 2 yellow fire engines. They're $250,000 a piece. The home value back then was R&D was, $125,000, $200,000. It basically took 1 to 2 houses to equal the value of a fire engine. Now, because of how R&D and assessed value is separated so much, a $500,000 real market value home here in Mount Angel, assessed value is about $250,000. A fire engine is now $1.2 million. So now we're up to where it takes the equivalent of 5 homes to equal a fire engine. And that's just one case. That's when I put together a while ago, just trying to find simple ways to share it with the community and stuff. And the pictures for people like me tells a good story. So that's kind of where we are. Again, the plan is if, well, as the chief said, part of the step is the city adopts the resolution that allows us to continue to move forward with Marion County commissioners. Originally, we thought we could just petition with the county commissioners, but because Monitor and Mount Angel are in two different counties, have two sets of county commissioners. So our legal team says this is the only way we can do it. So lucky us, we get to go out and gather 15% of the signatures of our registered voter in all of the area. So that's going to be our next heavy lift, but we can't get to that until we get a resolution from the city to accompany the petition that will be turned into the Marion County Commissioners, which will be the lead for this election, which is planned to be November 26th. So any questions?
Two quick things before we go to questions, just keep everybody square on. This, and I want to be very clear before we start discussion on this. This is permission to seek the ballot measure. This is not an endorsement of the final tax rate or dissolution or anything else. And so just with some of the previous language, I want to make sure everybody's clear on that. And I want to make sure that Mark and Colby get recognized for getting this on the agenda the same day that it came out of the fire department, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
With that, now
big lift there, and I do appreciate that. That was something that we thought the legal team had taken care of, and then we had a meeting the night before, and we met with the consolidation team, and it was pointed out. So a phone call to Mark said, "Hey, buddy, Mark and Colby made it happen." So do appreciate that. And again, yeah, any decision you guys make, then it's not an increase in taxes, it's not saying it's gonna happen. It's some ordinance that was set back in like 1973, and it's a hoop we have to jump through.
So with that, any questions for Fire Chief Trueau?
So if we don't approve it, it stops here.
Effectively, yeah. I hate to see how long it takes seeing shit to get to your house.
I'm just wondering why the city's involved, and I think
It's
you didn't know either, so.
It's an ordinance from back in the 70s, and when, oh boy. We should talk sometime because I can share my own experience with you. The whereas were set back in 1948 when they first formed fire districts or something else, but it still is today.
Yeah, it's like the county that people can kind of explain there's two different counties.
Questions? All right, thank you for coming tonight, be able to answer questions.
You bet.
With that, on page 26 are some of the motions.
I move to approve the attached draft petition for formation of Mount Angel Monitor Rural Fire Protection District to be filed, with formation contingent on successful gathering of signatures to place the same on the ballot and the approval of electors.
Second.
We have a motion made by Councilor Hofer and seconded by Councilor Hawk.
Councilor Astoria.
Aye.
Councilor Donahue.
Aye.
Councilor Ott.
Aye.
Councilor Blood.
Aye.
Councilor Eater.
Aye.
Councilor Hofer.
Aye.
Mayor Bob.
Aye. Good. Item 9C, appropriations transfer, Era.
We knew that with the adoption of the two collective bargaining agreements that we would likely not be able to make it through the end of the year without a budget adjustment. So after two full pay periods with the new rates, I was able to take that and extrapolate that out to the end of the year and What you have before you is what we need to get the public works allocation fund to the end of the year. And Colby has seen lots of activity in his department, and so we need another adjustment in addition to the one that we've already done to get him to the end of the year as well.
And that one is a limitation, not revenue, right? For Colby's.
These are all expenditure limitations.
Okay. Thank you. Questions?
How much are we appropriating?
Well, we're just moving the appropriations, so you've already allowed us to spend this money, but it was in the contingency fund. So we're taking it out of contingency. We're moving 20,000 to community development and 45,000 to the public works payroll allocation. The department. So this is all already approved within spending of the general fund. We're just moving it around.
I guess in my mind, you're has some overruns to contracts, and other things, activity, but we're taking out of contingency, moving it to funds.
Yeah.
Appropriate funds.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay. I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the attached resolution, transferring appropriation within the general fund.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilor Storga, seconded by Councilor Ott. Have a roll call, please.
Councilor Hilbert. Aye. Councilor Astoria.
Aye.
Councilor Donahue.
Aye.
Councilor Hott.
Aye.
Councilor Black.
Aye.
Councilor Eater.
Aye.
Mayor Dobbs.
Aye. Moving on to city manager's report. Chief Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll run through this list as quickly as I can. I shared already prior to council, a few things, but, today I received a phone message today from, Congresswoman Bynum's office, regarding submitting earmark project requests. I'll be calling back this week with hopes to submit my request for our new water reservoir project as outlined in the water master plan. Continue to work on the RFP for the new parks master plan. Hope to have considerable movement made to this by the next council meeting, as well as our emergency operations plan that I'm working with Marion County on that revision. I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, student counselor, but we were notified today, actually, by the high school that there will be a blood drive at Kennedy High School on Thursday, March 12th, from 8:30 to 13:30, 1:30 p.m. And they're hoping that folks will go and sign up and support that great cause at the high school. Why not go and give a little blood on the gym floor? Today, as I mentioned before council, our public works department was replacing sheet metal screws, which were holding the items on the side of the tree of trades with lag bolts, which will hopefully hold the metal decorations affixed to the pole until another resolution is determined. However, while placing the lag bolts into the pole, it was found to be spotty with dry rot, and noticeable movement was found when working on the pole to drill the holes needed for the lag bolts. So we will be continuing to follow up that and keep you all advised. Initial work on the Ebner Park ball field is being planned. It's still very wet and needs to be a bit drier before it can be raked. New turf material, as we all learned about last year, has been ordered and will arrive soon to be added to the base areas. I've been contacted by several contractors recently about the construction of our new city hall and police facility. I'm planning on starting to schedule some meetings with those interested to determine the best direction and make a recommendation to council. Don't forget to set your clocks ahead this Saturday night when you go to bed. It's time again to give up an hour, so we may have another hour of daylight as we move into the springtime. That's all I have to offer. Our staff stands ready to answer any questions you may have.
On your email, you talk about after your staffing shortages, police, you've got to cover some of those, and I just had a conversation through Christmas time. Well, young officer, anyway, he's talking about that Marion County Sheriff's Office, you can contract with them to cover, to do work, cover.
Who said that?
Someone in my family that works in the police business. I kind of looked it up, and Sublimity contracts with them for one full position. And the other person said that that they would do, and I don't know, I have no idea. That you can contract Marion County to do coverages for that, or what? If we're short and you need, maybe you enjoy covering, so you don't. But is that a possibility, I guess?
Well, the community, kind of looked at that a number of years ago and decided not to contract out police services. And you get what you pay for, sort of. If you talk to the city of Aurora, you talk to a number of other communities, you will find, and I will say this publicly, if the sheriff is standing right here, because he's already admitted the fact that his deputies will likely not be here. They are hard to get a hold of and hard to respond. So when contract services were recently reviewed for the city of Jervis, we submitted a proposal to them. The sheriff's office was not a consideration for the city of Jervis. So while the possibility exists, our calls for service are not as such that I'm concerned with our coverage. And it is also not necessarily that big of a deal for me to come in and cover a shift.
So our proposal in Jervis that we were proposing to cover for second now.
Yes.
But we're short.
Well,
Sometimes.
my proposal would have taken care of it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Sure.
Other questions? Oh, you'd also want to check the rate sheet. Any other questions? All right. Student council report.
Last week was FFA week and we celebrated all of our officers and everyone that just takes part in FFA, because it's a lot of work and time and energy that goes into that. So we had some dress up days and prizes for the whole school. And on top of the blood drive, we have another fundraiser towards the very end of March. We're gonna be helping out with parking and tickets at the Tulip Festivals. March 28th and 29th. And then conferences are later this month, and spring sports started today, and it was beautiful weather. Yeah, it was amazing. That's about it.
All right, thank you. Counselor reports. Counselor Storga. Counselor Donahue.
I would like the record to show that even though I was born in 1989, I consider Michael Jordan to be the greatest of all time.
I'll say it's all.
Says it a formal motion.
Not flopping LeBron.
Agreed. Counselor Blythe.
Just reflecting on the year and asking questions, follow-up questions and things that we talked about, just curious how it went. One, how did our neighborhood speed watch program go?
Well, we really had one citizen come in and check out the equipment. And
Yes.
Yeah.
that one citizen was maybe wondering if he should just keep the apparatus, and if somebody else actually wants to bring it. He said it drastically slowed people down. He pointed the ringer, but yes, it's not quite agile. Zoom phone, any pictures. It's a definite slippery slope.
But the sign proved effective, however, there was a lack of reporting, unfortunately, for unforeseen reasons.
The sandwich board too, I think, kind of drew a lot of people's attention, but I don't think they were paying attention.
Yeah, he said, when he raised the gun, people.
Because I actually never thought of it, or whatever.
There's a second citizen who then wants to refer a third citizen to come in and do it, so we'll see how they respond.
The second city wants to refer the third, so the second one doesn't have to do it.
Yes, sir. Mine doesn't.
Yes, exactly.
And then also, we had the fly situation, we're gonna look into that, did anything come of that?
Well, it got cold and the flies went away. So
It didn't get so cold this year, you might have a lot more flies in the
I don't know,
summer.
when, my plan is to reengage, when they come out, because we'll have to capture some, and I'll probably need some volunteers to help.
My parents have fly paper that are full of them, so if you wanna just grab one from there.
We got used to feeding the kids for we could probably trap a couple.
It's all right.
All right,
Thanks.
Counselor Ott.
For the time at last meeting, what happened to Jim Colsell's problem? Because I have the same problem in my neighborhood, but I also have a free range chicken.
What was his problem again?
Feral cats.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
To be honest with you, I wasn't prepared to give you a report about that.
Okay, so what am I supposed to do in my neighborhood?
Well, we can talk about it.
Just don't trap
File a
out.
report, okay to
I mean, we pretty well covered that issue the night that all those people were here with Jim, so, I know that Jim continued to trap some of the cats and was hauling them to some other location. And,
deeper hire.
might want to talk to Jim. I'm not sure.
Okay. So there's really no involvement on your guys' end.
Well, I assigned it to an officer, but I'm not sure exactly where they're at.
Okay.
I have 4 somewhat quick things. First of all, I saw an article today, I'm kind of behind, but our own JFK was ranked 19 out of 340 high schools, which is pretty remarkable considering the size of our community and our school district budget. So doing very well up there. Our city manager and chief of police missed a very important fact in his report that I'm very disappointed in, and that is that going against a brewery and a professional chili cook-off team, our own Chief Daniel was able to secure 3rd place in the 1st annual chili cook-off. And despite the mayor being a judge, I was completely unbiased. So thought we should share that. And I expect chili dogs and chili burgers in retirement plan somewhere near Mount Angel.
Come on over, I got some money.
There's a
Still
building
coming
that's
out.
for rent over here if you wanna start a business.
Yeah.
I can cook.
There you go.
And
That's the name of the place.
So,
No, be surprise.
Actually, it was really, it was a surprisingly, I shouldn't say surprisingly, but it's the first of anything, so I'll say surprising. I was surprised how well organized, operated, attended the event really was. I think close to 200 people, lots of families, it worked out great being at the same school as the youth basketball games, you get a little flush of families, you'd see people mingle, that kind of stuff, and I was very shocked at there was, these small cups that they use to let you taste everything, and I was shocked, after 10 of those, I was remarkably full. And I didn't know chili could taste 10 completely different ways. So it was cool. It was well ran. It was a great fundraiser. that the parent club at St. Mary's is getting a large portion of the fundraising, so they can continue doing great things for the local kids, so. It really was well done, by our folks there at Discover Mount Angel and parent, St. Mary's Parent Club. You probably saw me looking at my phone a minute ago. I was looking for an email because I thought I had it and I don't, so I'm gonna mess up all the details. So all I'm gonna say is there's gonna be a unique opportunity on Wednesday night, and I can't remember the date. There's a group with Oregon Heritage, and they bring a large number of people into town. They have kind of an all-day thing, or is it a two-day thing at the fest hall? And one of the interesting things that they're doing is there's about a 2-hour gap between the end of their meetings and before their dinner, where they literally are pushing everybody out of the building. And some folks are working on creating kind of like a punch card or this or that. There's some kind of cool stuff that could be entered into a gift raffle. There's a lot of cool stuff, but the point of it is they're encouraging all of our businesses to stay open later that evening, be able, preferably be around to give a little snippet about them, but it's kind of cool because there's gonna be a large number of people, and they're very conscious to push them out into our small community and hopefully create some interest and some return visitors. And then the last thing, just because it seems to be a recurring thing, I'm gonna give you an update on the enterprise zone. Or lack thereof at the moment. Effectively, what has transpired since the last time we talked is, we left the last meeting, I received an email asking why we had not voted on it. And I, again, set out very clear expectations for what it takes for us to put something in front of council, such as an agreement that we can read. And that went unanswered until a couple days ago. And so Silverton is going to do it on their own, and we have the option to do it on our own. However, our path forward was only made less clear in the most recent emails I received. So with that, we do not need to concern ourselves with what it took to partner with Silverton. We only need to decide if we have the capacity and the staff time and the desire to spend the money on standing up our own. If that becomes of interest, we can discuss it, and we can look into how many properties in town actually are zoned appropriately to ever use the enterprise zone, and how many of those are actually available, and how many of those have already undergone major retrofits, I'll call it, in the last 3 years, despite not having an enterprise zone. So at this point, just a quick update, that's where that stands. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
Counselor, it's birthday.
Before we start singing, we are adjourned.